Welcome to a new year of Planning Phase Syndicate. Thank you all very much for joining us on our journey. Tonight is episode 130. For Christ's sake, we've been going for 130 episodes. Tonight, though, is going to be our inaugural episode for the year 2024, and we're here to talk about more Battle Over Endor Leaks, as well as peek at a few of the remaining store champs. What I'm most excited about is we have a new league that we started that literally is going to cover the gap between the time for Nickel City League. And now we're going to be playing on 312. And I'm going to start a little beef here because JJ signed up and then didn't tell me, and we can sign up as a team. And so I messaged him to say, hey, we should sign up as a team. And what JJ did is he just decided to say, hey, no big deal. I'm not going to care two poops. And guess what? Now, next week, we got to play. Our teams have to play against each other. And somehow I got drafted as captain. I have no idea how that happened. But either which way, we have an amazing episode planned for everybody. Let's bring in my co-host for tonight. Please welcome the bench warmer himself, Mr. Alex. How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just finding out about this 3-1-2 league that I wasn't invited to. What's up with that?
Are you not? Okay, so me and Matt were talking a little bit about this earlier, and you were invited. We did mention it on the stream more than one time, but you don't have social media. So like, there's everybody goes, oh, I have to contact Alex personally. And like, that's great for you. And I'm happy that you don't use social media almost at all. But the big issue becomes it's the same as my buddy who has a flip phone, and he doesn't understand why he doesn't get text sometimes, or he can't see the emojis, or when we send a group text, sometimes the photo doesn't appear on his side. And it's like, hey, upgrade your life a little bit, man. But either which way, it might not be too late to join. I don't know. We've played week 1, so it probably is too late. But yeah, it's a for fun online league that 312 Squadron has put together. And we're going to get into it a little bit later tonight, kind of what it's about, if anybody is interested.
So I'm going to get drafted to JJ's team this week and then play you next week, right?
Nope, that definitely won't happen. Great. No. Not unless they kick JJ out. Then you can play against me. You and I just never seem to play each other, it seems. So. Also joining us tonight is Mr. JJ, wearing almost a matching Lions hat tonight. We're twinsies. We're twinsies, baby. Because guess who's going to playoffs?
Not the Giants.
Not the Giants. And barely the Lions.
It sounds like you are taking the captain position just so you can set up a match between me and you on next stream, right?
I couldn't. I can't. Because we lost. So we lost our week this week, so our team doesn't get to pick. If there was internal discussion on our teams where me and Matt and Tim were talking about who's gonna have to face JJ, and if we're just gonna do a Planning Phase Syndicate face off. And I said, hey, I'm all for it. I'll take JJ on, but the requirement is going to be JJ has to fly an extremely off meta list. He cannot fly anything meta at all. So like, if the ship shows up in the top 20 ships for Empire, he can't fly it. And that was going to be our challenge.
Well, luckily I'm not Empire, so I'm not flying anything meta. So that's great.
You are flying something meta. We watched your stream today. You flew meta very much. You didn't do very well with it, but you did fly meta.
I don't see anybody flying matchstick. I don't see anybody flying slider. I don't know. I don't see any of that.
Well, just wait. When we get to some of our star champs, you'll see some of those. So how was your holiday, everyone? Alex, how was your holiday? What did you do? Did you get drunk all week? We had 2 weeks off. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't really do too much. Just went to my family's. Made French onion soup for Christmas and some chili for New Year's. That's about it. Nothing crazy.
Oh. So the French onion soup I'm interested in. In a second, let's talk recipes, because I also made French onion soup, but not for Christmas. It was not our Christmas dish. We had rib roasts. My brother-in-law bought some rib roasts, and he's like, hey, you should cook these. And I was like, all right, I'll cook. I haven't cooked the rib roast because usually they're a little out of my price range. typically. But my brother-in-law bought them, and I froze one, and I have the other one. He must have gotten them on sale or something. And
Wow.
we cooked one, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I won't say it's my best one, and I would say in a smoker it probably tastes better. But French onion soup, man. Like, we got to get Nick, and it's not Nick. No, it's who was debating us on soup? It was, I can't remember who the hell it was. Somebody was debating on soup. It basically said French onion is like the base McDonald's levels of soup.
It's the best
Gosh,
soup.
I
You just gotta
forgot.
do it right.
I think it was crispy.
Was it crispy?
I
It was
think it was
crispy. I know Nick was in there, or not Nick.
Yeah, Nick was-
Greg was in there.
Yeah, Greg was definitely in there. I think I want to say crispy, but yeah, honestly, like the French onion soup with a French baguette, God, man, especially when it's fresh, perfect.
Yeah, and that's what we did. We caramelized the onions like the real way, not just like somebody throwing it in there for 20 minutes. I cooked my onions for an hour, like a freaking hour. My wife came out and she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "This is how you properly caramelize onions." And she's like, "But I'm hungry." And I was like, "I know, but you got to wait another 20 minutes. This is how this is going to work." She's like, "But I can smell the bread." I was like, "I know. I cooked the bread too early on accident."
You want it a little stale anyways to be like crouton to absorb the soup. Yeah, I had like 5.5 pounds of onions in there for like 2.5 hours before they were even caramelized.
Wow. Well, that's 5.5 pounds. That's a lot of onion, man.
Yeah, it was great.
And we did not cook that much. It was only because the only people that will eat the soup is me, my brother-in-law ate some, and the wife. And my daughter tried it, but she's like, I don't like it. But we did also a ham for Christmas. So I have the ham bone with all the excess sugar juice,
Yes.
and we're gonna be making some ham and potato and leek soup there. Hey, look, it's Liam. Hey, Liam. Either way, JJ, how was your holiday?
It was good. It was good to have my family up here. We hadn't had a full family Christmas in over 20 years. So we had a fantastic Christmas. Unfortunately, I had to ruin it by getting it sick, and then by extension, apparently getting my brother sick from Florida. A little bit of payback from August when he got me sick. But we had a great time just having all the family over here. We played a lot of Lorcana. I got both my brother and his wife and my nephew to all buy starter decks and play. But we had a blast doing that. Got to learn a couple of new board games, which are really great. And then my aunt came to visit from South America. We She hadn't been back in the States for 15 years, so we drove out to Maryland around New Year's. Got to spend time with her and see her, and then I had some friends come in over this last weekend from this weekend, I should say, from the Middle East to visit. They're out there just doing some work, and they were just visiting here for about 10 days or so. So got to spend time with them, got to play some games with them as well, and it was good to see them. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I do want to make a quick announcement before we go forward, and I'll be posting this all over our Discord again. Next weekend on Saturday, I will be streaming the Store Championship over at Atomic Empire for the event that's putting on over there. If you are listening, we hope to see you guys there. We're hoping to get a full tournament going. If we do reach 16 players, we are raffling off some custom painted ships that I had commissioned for the players who are attending there. We'll be raffling them off at the end of the event. So we hope to see everybody out there. We'll be streaming the event live there as well. So come out over there. It's going to be Atomic Empire over in Durham, North Carolina. The event starts at 11 o'clock. And if you haven't signed up, we'll post the link for the events on our Discord and on our Facebook page as well. And we hope to see you guys there.
Awesome. We also have a store champ in Zeeland, Michigan on Sunday the 14th. Hoping to get enough people to give away. Technically, we have at least one, but possibly two invites. So it would be awesome if people would show up. We're going to celebrate Zach's birthday in style. The store is not normally open on a Sunday, and they're going to specifically open just for us. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty fun. We'll have the sword to ourselves. Speaking of new card games, Star Wars Unlimited. Um, it sucks because there's a store champ on the east side of the state for us, but they're gonna do like a whole demo and pre-release party for it over here on the west side on the 20th. I don't know why, other than I know Cascade Games is now actually promoting Star Wars Unlimited. Like they must be the OP company or whatever that's going to run events. Um, but I did not see them on Adepticon, so I was a little weirded out that there wasn't even like learn and play events or anything like that. So um, we will see. We will see what they do because it would be fun. That would be fun if they just like ran like random tournaments at Adepticon for Star Wars Unlimited, like non-competitive ones that you could just pick up and play in and learn the game. So, well, all right. Well, before we get into anything league-wise or anything else, why don't we resurrect an old but new segment called Roll Call? In our roll call segment here, we like to talk about underutilized ships that aren't showing up in Pattern Analyzer at the top of the meta, things you're not seeing a lot of people bring. Yes, some people bring them, but not a lot of people. So tonight, we decided we wanted to talk a little bit about our gal, Ray. Alex, what is Ray's ability and what is her title?
Oh man, Ray is disgusting. Her ability is while you defend or perform an attack, if there's an enemy ship in your front arc, you can spend one charge, one force charge to change one of your blanks to an evade or a hit result. And then you basically should always include Ray's Falcon title. Unless for some reason you're doing some sort of weird resistance double Falcon list, but you don't do that. So Ray's title is if you have 2 or fewer stress tokens, you can execute the red Sagnor's Loop maneuvers and perform boost and rotate actions even while stressed. And all those are red. Obviously, the sloops and the rotate and the boost. So,
and we know what upgrade. We I don't know. Should we make a bet on what upgrade JJ wants to put on here? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I'm actually really have different thoughts on what upgrades could work on her. I mean, obviously heroic is really good if you're gonna put like Finn Gunner. He's probably the most popular upgrade. Finn Gunner allows you to add on a blank result if you have the enemy ship in your arc. But if you're not planning to go with the rate or with the the Finn combo, I mean, there's a lot of different options up there. I mean, you can add Leia to give her an additional force. You could go Corsella if you're really worried about mitigating stress. There's a lot of options for Ray.
damn. I bet that you're going to go say Admiral Holdo.
I've seen there's only one person I've seen use Holdo to an extremely well like build, and that is Nabi. Nabi was excellent using Holdo on Ray.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Finn Ray, well, one heroic should always be on there no matter what because that is silly on Ray. The Finn and heroic combo because you just on defense if you blank out, you just add the Finn die and then you heroic them. Now you got free evades, and if not, you're still Ray. You can still force change one of them into an evade. And Rose is super good. Take the target lock. You can do silly things like, I don't know, on offense or something, roll like 2 blanks and a focus result, and then just Rose Tico the focus result, add the Finn die, and look, they're all 3 of them are blank, and then just heroic that and save your lock for later.
So I have a question, and I have a question about adding Hondo here. But before we get to the adding Hondo and some of the upgrades, I think I want to talk just a little bit of why do we feel Rey is being overlooked? Is it just because people are more comfortable flying T70s or the T70 combo, which seems to be the most popular one? Or is Poe that much better than Rey that people just want Poe instead? It is an I6, but you don't get the force you get with. I mean, Rey's got 2 bloody force, and she converts blanks, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely really good. I think right now is the meta call, right? Because when you're investing 7 points of a ship into your list, you want to make sure that the rest of your list can keep up and really provide that much more value for covering the board for objectives, right? Ray is really good at particular objectives, namely like assault at a satellite array. She's a large base, can touch a lot of different points. She's good in chance engagement because she can put out a lot of damage with her ability, which makes her more likely to help you get those half points off of ships and stuff. And she's fast in the excuse me, in the Falcon with that title there, being able to do like a 3 bank boost and such, even or even a sloop and boost and really get into it. But when you start comparing that efficiency versus breaking down her points into other ships, you can get like what we've been seeing, like 5 T70s or something relevant to that. That gives you a little more flexibility for the points. And we've seen the 5 T70 list, or the similar variant to that, do really really well in the meta as of late. So I feel like the meta has shifted more towards that because it provides a little more flexibility than Ray. As good as Ray is, she's still a 1 agility ship. The defensiveness of her really depends on what upgrades you bring onto her. If she doesn't have Finn to help her add on that additional die, she's gonna have a hard time staying alive, especially if she's taking 2 to 3 shots per engagement. It's tough for Ray to stay alive and for you to retain those 7 points before you lose it. So I think that's why we haven't seen Ray as much, because she's not retaining her points as much as people would like.
Nah, I think people just want to play a bunch of T70s. I think, I mean, Ray is just super, super, super good. But you're not seeing a lot of like Falcons being played. And if it is, it's like oddly enough Lando with just a bunch of Y wings. But I am trying to think of the last time I've ever lost a Ray. Like she's so, like, I mean, if you're getting shot at by multiple ships, you take the focus token, you don't take the lock. Like, but she just deletes things, everything coming at her. You don't have to spend the force always for offense too. Like just having that for just an auto evade convert is super super good.
So before I guess we should talk about upgrades too. But before we get to upgrades, because I think there's some consensus on a couple of upgrades, such as Heroic and Finn. Like, to me, the Heroic and Finn feel like a heavy staple. Like, that's kind of there's zero reason not to bring them with the points loadout you have. But the question I have is, do you bring 3 T70s with her, or do you bring 2 T70s, or I'd say 2 4-point ships, a 3-point and a 2-point ship?
That's my preferred kind of Ray build.
Yeah.
Is 2 4-pointers, a 3-point, and a 2-point. Mostly because I think the jump from 3-point ships to 4-point ships is really big in resistance, because it's going from like a Y wing or an A wing to a T70 that does stuff. And BB-8 is still really solid. Like you don't lose as much downgrading from a 3 to a 2
And you
as
want
you gain
automatic target
from 3 to
priority
4.
on BB-8, right? That's what we agreed upon.
Just ATP, nothing else.
No, you just give up the other points.
Just don't need the 3 other points. Ugh.
So are you bringing 2 X-Wings? Are you bringing, well, you could bring Lulo and an X-Wing, or in this list, are you bringing 2 X-Wings for the beef?
Ooh. Do I say what people should fly or what I personally fly?
What people should fly, not what you personally.
People
fly.
should probably fly 270s, two
There you go.
T70s. They should probably just bring like LO Snap. Their choice of a 3-pointer, probably. I've seen a lot of Jarek. You can get away with a Y-wing, although it kind of depends on what else you're bringing because they tend to be slower. I mean, the Resistance Y-wings, like they're mobile. Like they have the boost, they got 3 banks. The blue 3 straight is nice, but they don't fly in a way that like Snap actually does, right? Where he's just 3 banking boosting or 3 harding boosting a lot.
Yeah, I think LO and Snap are pretty. I mean, I think LO is a staple at 4 points. You get the I5. She is pretty bloody good when it comes to turnaround maneuvers. Not as it's easier to proc than Nina. How about that? There you go. Like Nina, you could proc him and that's fine. But and he does a bunch of stuff. But if you're looking for an easy ship to fly, LO is like just top of the line easy ship to fly.
Yeah. I mean,
I agree.
In the Ray list that I bring, that also my buddy is probably going to be running at Worlds 2, it's a super, super fast list. So it's like Ray, Lulo, Snap, BB-8, and Merle. So it's like very front-loaded offense, but all the ships are super, super fast because you get free boosts. With Snap, you get an A-wing, you get 2 A-wings in there, and then BB-8 does BB-8 things.
Yeah, it sounds like you're going in there to eliminate a ship, right? Like that's your intention, to go concentrate on a ship and just make sure that it's gone by the end of that first engagement.
Yeah, I think Ray pretty much has a positive matchup with basically any ship in the game. Like, I don't think there's a ship that can out-joust Ray, especially multiple rounds.
Yeah.
So, and then adding something like Merle in there for your 3-pointer instead of like Jarek. If you can block and get that bullseye, having 1 less agility die is really, really bad for a lot of ships.
All right, let's talk upgrades about that. So I'm going to ask, before we talk about what you should do, I'm going to ask, is Hondo ever an option? Would Hondo just be memeing? Or Ray's got 2 4s. You could fit Hondo on there. Hondo's what, 7 points or 8 points? I have to
8.
look.
He's 8 points.
Yeah. So you could technically fit. Yeah, you could technically fit Hondo, Finn, Heroic, and the title, and you still have 6 points left over for whatever you want. Like you could still run another crew. You just can't run Rose, right? Like you could run Corsella. I don't know if that's really that good. You can run Contraband and engine upgrade if you really want to. I mean, there's a lot of things you could run. So I'm just going to ask a question, especially in a 5-ship list. Is Hondo good? Because now you've all of a sudden got a Ray that is somewhat self-sustaining, then has the ability to coordinate another ship. So, for example, you could coordinate a Temin, you could coordinate a Lulo, you could coordinate anybody. Well, you can't coordinate Lulo because she's always stressed. So anybody but Lulo. Is Hondo worth it? Because then, or you could also do the jamming shenanigans. So you're essentially giving Ray a range 2 jamming for herself, and she's a large base ship. So, Alex, do you feel Hondo is even something you would consider, or is it too gimmicky for meta?
I feel like if I'm gonna like run a Falcon that gives other ships actions, I just run Lando instead of Hondo, right? Like Ray is there to kill things, and when you're bringing Hondo instead of Rose, you're a lot less self-sufficient because you're not getting the target locks for essentially free. So it's really kind of iffy because anyone that's like a higher pilot skill than Ray or like shoots before Ray, you just roll up with a focus. You just take the lock on defense. So you still have like a focused target lock shot going back. So when you don't have Rose, that's like you might not be in lock range, or you might just that Rose lock is so critical, I think, to Ray being self-sufficient that if you bring Hondo, like theoretically, I see how it works. It's just there's the whole other ship that just does that better in the same chassis.
Fair enough. So what is the ideal build then? We've talked about Finn and heroic. Those are probably the staples. I think Rose is probably up there, though Rose is 9 points. So what would you build, Alex? What would your ideal build be?
So with the remaining 5 points after heroic, Rose, and Finn, I do contraband novice tech. Novice tech is super good on Ray because you'll get crits, right? Those are the last things you end up canceling, and basically you only have 2 agility dice. So things like structural damage is really bad for Ray, and weapons failure is really bad. So novice tech being able to flip those over the turn you get them is huge.
Yeah.
I always prefer contraband over engine. Most people put engine, and I have no idea when they're boosting with Ray because my Ray never boosts. Even like in the early game when I'm like, maybe I can boost here. I never had a reason to ever boost with Ray. Or if I did, I could still 1 straight or 2 straight or 2 bank out of it and clear the stress. Rather have that contraband for the second or third time that I like do a sloop. Because slooping behind someone with Ray and then you still get an action is really disgusting. You just hit super hard. Because Ray probably only needs like 3 shots to take out most ships.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, for me, I played Ray quite extensively in the beginning of 2.0, and there are a lot of times, especially if you're playing her like a knife fighter, where you need to get her into a better position for like a range one shot. And if you're slooping and you know obviously can't take any other action other than that boost, getting into that range one shot to like guarantee those 4 dice can be really great. The other upgrade I think that was worth mentioning for Ray is including Rose Rose Crew, I believe, that can spend a blank result to acquire a lock on the attacker or the defender.
Any result.
Yeah, any result.
Which is
Usually on
critical
blank
because
still.
you right, but if you get a focus result and the rest are blanks, you can heroic those blanks.
That's true.
Which is what makes
yes.
it really good on Ray with heroic.
That is very true. Yeah. And I think that's definitely worth mentioning for this build because that really helps Ray conserve her force on offense. So that way you have a way of mitigating those blank results if you're rolling them, just making you a little more accurate when you're attacking ships. So that is something to consider for a loadout for Ray.
There's a very niche, like you can kind of see if someone takes false transponder codes for like the last 5 points or so because of just having Rose. Like they shoot you on offense if they didn't spend the okay, so if you're shooting on offense and then you like add your Finn die whatever and you Rose that one, you acquire target lock on them, you jam off their stuff before they have rolled their defense dice, which is pretty cool. But also like if they didn't spend their like focus or target lock when they attack you, you can Rose one of your defense dice, get a lock on them, and jam that off.
Yeah,
so like
that's true.
Occasionally people will bring false transponder codes. I've also seen like patience, like engine upgrade patience or contraband patience. But I just think that's more defensive Ray, but that's kind of not why you're bringing Ray. You want Ray there to just delete ships off the board.
Yeah.
She does that really well.
Well, all right. Well, I think that kind of does it tonight for our roll call discussion. We will be discussing more underutilized pilots. That one was an Alex suggestion, so we'll kind of let the guys say, "Hey, this is an underutilized." I was doing upgrades, but I kind of like the pilot thing better. I think I feel the pilot thing is easier to discuss than an upgrade. Because not all upgrades are equal when it comes to ships, whereas the ship and the pilot is just there. Like it doesn't change. So
And like put things in perspective, like I'm on like advanced starting computer, right? And they're ranking like how many lists of like major tournaments Ray's been in. And Ray's in like 140 lists. Like Scorch in the FO is in 142. Like Scorch is taken more than Ray. Laurier is taken more than Ray. Like Ray has 9 more instances more than Boy Backstabber. Like it's really impressive that like she's so far like Grievous has taken 5 less times.
oof.
And a lot of people play Resistance, right? Like that's how shockingly low Ray ranks in like
Yeah.
all pilots.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason we want to have these discussions is as we go into Worlds, we've got 3 months. In 3 months, we're going to be at Worlds, right? And the idea behind you being able to find something that isn't quite meta, might surprise some of your opponents is going to be a fun task, in my opinion. And like I know JJ and Alex are both very similar. They have play styles, and then they also have the desire to not just fly meta crap all the time. So this segment to me feels very up our podcast alley.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So why don't we talk a little bit about 312 League and a little bit about Adepticon. So Adepticon is in 3 months. They opened the queues up for purchasing LCQ tickets, and they also decided that they were going to start handing out some of the wins or for the invites for people. So you should be getting an email. If not, you can email them. I don't know how often or if all the stores have turned them in, but I do know that is by the end of the month you should have them. When I looked this morning, there was 128 LCQ tickets. So I'm assuming that's the guaranteed spots for getting in or being able to play into Worlds. Now, that does not mean that they're going to take 128. I think last year we had 128, right, Alex? Or 120 or something like
I
that.
thought we had a lot more than that.
Did we?
I don't recall.
Maybe it was 160. I don't
I
remember.
thought it was like 160 or something because I got mine in like the very, very last like wave of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, because they opened more of them up. That's what they did. So they start out with 128 tickets. Last I checked, there was like 52 left. I have not checked in the last couple hours. But if you want, you could get your ticket if you don't have it from a store champ and be able to play in the LCQ. But otherwise, for Adepticon, we will be planning once store champs are done. We're going to be doing kind of a recap segment on and off for the next couple of months, talking about what lists you're going to see, tacking against some of them. What do you want to fly? Obviously, there's going to be some different takes because should you bring Scum to Worlds? Is that something you should be doing? Should you bring CIS to Worlds? There was, if you actually go through and look at win ratios of different lists, CIS has a very high win ratio, but it does not have a high cut ratio, right? So it's winning lots of games, but it's not winning store champs, and it's not taking down, all the top tournaments. But we'll get into all of that into the future for that. I will encourage you if you would like to hang out. I am at this point planning to attend at least for a couple of days. If I can convince our whole local group to go, I will be there with everybody else. I'm hoping they do a Star Wars Unlimited demo there. That would be really awesome. I've officially written off Shatterpoint. So if you have any interest in buying a brand new Shatterpoint kit that has literally never been opened, that's sitting up on that shelf up there, let me know. I will happily sell it to you. And I'll save you shipping and even bring it to Adepticon with me. So JJ, you got plans? You gonna try to make it out to Adepticon to hang out with us again?
Yes, definitely. Getting that into the works here. still haven't confirmed my slot as of yet, but that's definitely in the works for me to head over to Adepticon and see all of you wonderful people over there.
Yeah. And Desi, yes, I'll happily hang out and drink your Canadian maple whiskey. So yes. So, but yeah, so we we probably should figure out where we're staying or who's staying. But there's a discussion about, like, I don't know if people are staying on site or people want to get a Airbnb. I think Greg is coming. I think Greg's
Yes.
coming. He said he was coming. Obviously Greg's not going to play in Worlds, but he's going to stand on the other side of the table and make fun of us. So if I don't fly CIS though, Greg, what are you going to make fun of me for? Like last time he just sat there and calling me a coward because I ran Django. So, I don't know if I don't run Django. So I can feel like I have to run Django or Zam, like so that he can stand on the other side of the table and call me a coward. Because I'll tell you what, when he did, I did a lot better because it pissed me off. And I was like, I'm not a coward for running CIS. This is not the top list. What are you talking about? Yeah. But either of you have anything about Adepticon you want to talk about? I know we'll be touching on it in the future.
Well, it's going to be a great time. I mean, we're just based on the amount of events I've been out to this season. Just seeing the whole atmosphere for all the players that have come out to play a lot of these large events. It's always been a fun time. I've been really fortunate to go out to PAX and to Nova Open and Richmond Open this year, and every single one of these events have been great. It's going to be even better at Adepticon. So if you're on the fence, I highly suggest you go. It is such a fun time. You get to meet so many players over there that you probably only know via Discord. And I really do suggest, checking it out. It's such a great time to go out and experience the event out there.
And you could bring beer for Alex, because if you want to beat Alex, you just got to start feeding him enough like high weight beers in the morning. And by noon, he's not going to care enough about X-Wing. He's just going to play. And if he'll either win or lose, and he will just laugh and not care. And it'll be like, meh, whatever, guys.
Hey, no, I need to drink in order to do well at X-Wing. I just got to not bring the beer with me, because then I end up not moving the beer and putting my ships in a suboptimal path.
All right. Anything from you, Alex, on Adepticon? If not, we'll move on.
Yeah, no, we'll figure it out eventually. I'm going. I'm excited. First Worlds was last year, so super cool that I get to do it again. And I get to be JJ in real life.
I'm a real boy.
Maybe. We don't know. We haven't
I don't even
seen.
know if JJ had legs, honestly. So, like, it's going to be a shock to me.
JJ, you got to wear your Catan shirt, too.
Yeah, right? Nobody's going to recognize me without the Lion's hat and the Catan shirt now.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yep, you have to wear the Lions. I mean, I'll tell you what. So when is the? I don't even know when the Super Bowl is. If they go to the Super Bowl, you'll have a good reason to actually wear it. So you can say Christ all you want, but I'm just saying is, give me the Lions in the Super Bowl. Let's talk a little bit about 312 Squadron League. So essentially, they are teams of 3. If you didn't have a team, they placed you at random. So I think like Crispy, his dad, and his sister are all playing on one team. JJ abandoned me and obviously did not want to be on the same team as me, given my performance in NCX League. So he was like, nope, not going to hang out with Tanner. And then I got drafted to be the captain. So the name of our team is the Rule of 3. And we have a cool little Darth Sidious, or not Darth Sidious, a Darth Bane logo that Nick made for us. So that was pretty cool. And we decided we're just going to play for fun. So we're not going to be super serious in it. So if I get paired up against JJ, it's just not going to be super serious. I'm gonna literally meme. Maybe I'll run like all 8-point droid or 2-point droids and give JJ a 4-point bid. That's what I'll probably do.
Just run Ray with Hondo.
I can't. I can't. If I had resistance, I could. 100%, Alex. If I had resistance, I would 100% run Ray and Hondo together. Just because now that we talked about it, now I want to do it. Whether it's good or not, I don't care. So yeah, so that's kind of what the 3-1-2 league is. We have we play for 3 weeks. This week the interesting thing is one of my team members played and they drew 10-10 and then did a roll and won. So then I played this afternoon. I played Obi-Wan, and it was jokey because we talked about it before. And he's like, "Are you going to run a super serious list?" I was like, "Nope, not at all. I'm just going to run a joking list just for the hell of it." NCIS obviously, and I ran a droid swarm with Watt, and we ended our game 10-10 because I stupidly forgot and should have tried to kill one of his torrents, and instead I thought I had more damage into not C3PO, into Bo-Katan, and like I had 2 blankouts basically on 3 dice attacks that were like did 1 damage. And if they had hit, I would have won, but we tied, and then I lost on the roll off. But 2 of us went 10-10. Had to do a road roll for victory. So
That's
Nice.
impressive. That's hard to pull off.
yeah, Nick. I don't think Nick believed it. I think Nick thought we were like messing around. And I was like, no, we're not. We were super serious. That like we played the game. I mean, we joked the whole time. But if you've never played against Obi-Wan, like you should. Like he's hilarious to play against. And he's a smooth talker though. Don't listen to what he's saying. He tried to get me to shoot discords like once or twice, and like it's like, oh no, I didn't really try to get you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You wanted me to shoot discord to get rid of my calculate. But then you could either roll, like my droids either roll good greens or bad greens. It was like never like I either blanked out or I would roll like 2 evades and a focus and have calculates. But I'll tell you, Kraken, I really wish Seer could take Kraken. Because oh man, I would go back to a Seer droid swarm. That's what I would do. That would be fun. My whole list got to move before his list. That was the best part. Like it's like, oh, I just go into position everything. JJ, you're playing in the league today. Yep.
Yeah, I got to play against Will Scott today on stream for 3-1-2. It was a Rebels versus Resistance face-off on a salvage mission, and the dice just did not work out for Will. Unfortunately, I felt bad. I mean, when you mistakenly dial in, and by the way, I went over 2 obstacles. I flew over 2 obstacles. I mistakenly dialed a 2 bank into my Ricole instead of doing a 3 like he should have. So he ended up with just a focus. He ended up in range 1 of Luke Skywalker, range 1 of Hull Oaken, and in bullseye of a proton rocket from Thane, and survived that encounter, losing only a single shield. So that's just the level of like bad dice Will had for that particular match. It ended up being 15-9 at the end of the game after a concession, but Will is still a great person to play against, and just wish him luck for the next round.
So yeah, so you'll probably hear about that from us quite a bit over the course of the next I don't know, 6 weeks. I think we play 6 weeks, right?
Yeah, I believe 6 weeks. Yes.
Yep. They are also at Adepticon doing something called an unconventional warfare league, which some of me kind of hopes to scrub out so that I could just go play that. Because I don't know what it is, like 100%. Like what it says it is it's like a 3+ days event focused on squad building options. So like that just sounds fun, right? I'm assuming that means they're going to give us weird challenges. We go build a list and then we get to play each other. So I don't know. Alex, maybe if you scrub, maybe we could both get drunk enough that we scrub out the first day and then we could just go play that the next day. So I'm tempted to just buy us tickets right now, but it's like a $60 cost.
Ooh.
But you will get a bunch of prize wall tickets. So like that is the benefit is you're gonna get a ton of prize wall tickets is the way they're making it sound.
Hey, that's a big plus.
So it's kind of like, hey, pay us $60 and then we're gonna give you a bunch of free stuff. I have no idea what the prize wall is gonna be. We'll hopefully they'll share some images later on. We're gonna skip over that piece of it for now. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited. Hopefully everything is really cool looking. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure, after last year they had the my gosh, from Star Wars Rebels, all those templates for them for Phoenix Squadron and stuff, and they look amazing. I'm sure that this year they're gonna have even better prizes, or if not, at least the same quality.
Awesome. All right, you guys ready to talk a little bit about Battle of Endor?
Let's do it.
All right, so this week we had a Battle of Endor, and they have 3 ships. One we knew about, 2 we don't know about, and then if you scroll down, we have all these other pilots. So, which do you guys want to talk about first? The weird card reveals on the back, or the excess pilots?
Just do the cards real quick because we don't know their upgrades, unfortunately. It's just their abilities.
Awesome. So the first one is, I can't even read that. So
Hammer Sojan.
there you go.
It was a 1.0 pilot.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, it was garbage in 1.0. No one played him.
All right. Do you think it's going to be garbage now? What's okay? What is the pilot ability? There you go.
There you go. Yeah, so this pilot ability, it's an RZ1. It has the vectored cannon, so you don't have the link any action into boost. Normal base stat line, it's an I2. While defending, you may gain 1 strain token to change up to 2 of your blank results to a focus result. Which seems really good. As long as you only get shot at by 1 person.
You're an I2, so that's probably not going to happen. You're probably going to be dead right away.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know. I mean, if it's like 3 points, then it's not a bad filler pilot, right? I guess in Rebels you can stack multiple focus tokens as well. So we'll see what the upgrades are. Obviously, one of them is going to be it's a trap, and then it's got a cannon.
Yep, I'm guessing proton cannons. That's my
proton
guess.
cannons too, but I'm upset that it's not like a double cannon iconography on
Yep.
there. That just bothers me.
So maybe it's a new cannon we've never seen. Is there another cannon in Star Wars that starts with a P? Maybe do they have passive assault cannons? There you go. We have something that's silly and can do nothing. It'll be like
That
jamming
second
and tractor
letter,
beam today.
that second letter is an R. It looks like an R to me. So I really think it's going to be proton cannons, which would be great for an I2. Since he's always going to have something in bullseye I2.
Counterpoint. Jendon has proton cannons in the Battle of Endor pack, and that does have a double cannon icon.
Yep, good point.
So it might just be something new. Which would be kind of interesting. I wonder what it is.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, JJ, what's the next one?
So the next one here is going to be Maois Monair. It's going to be an Initiative 3 TIE Interceptor. It does come with 1 shield and 3 hull. And its ability is after you perform an invade action, you gain a calculate token, and it does come equipped with sensitive controls on that chassis.
That seems super good too. Hopefully it comes with juke.
Yeah, can you imagine that at 3 points, right? Give me that thing at 3 points. No idea what the upgrades are, but it's got a free shield upgrade on it, and you get calculate evade, so you're double modded to some extent. Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to give us juke, but there is a talent slot at the top. So I don't know. Was there a talent slot? What have we seen any other interceptors? I think I deleted the cards already.
Soontir fell, and I think they've had
and Sapphire.
And Sapphire, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they both had no escape. Well, Soontir didn't, because Soontir still had no escape. Yeah, I'm assuming they're all going to get no escape, and all the rebels are going to get it's a trap. So
sounds about right. Yep.
But I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, 4 points with juke would be cool. Kind Kind of an annoying ship to kill.
Yeah.
I3, probably
You'd
not
almost
impressive.
have to. You'd almost have to shoot it because it's an I3. Because if you don't kill it, it's going to be nothing but hell to get through, right?
Yeah, I mean that'd be. I think it's cool. It's an I3. It's got sensitive controls. Like you probably understand where it's going. So shouldn't be oppressive, but it seems cool. Extra health is always nice.
Free extra help. All right, the last one is Wedge. Another Wedge. A Battle of Endor Wedge. So, okay, I have a question. Are we? You know how like everybody calls the other ones boy? Do we get to call this like buoys? Is that like what we're gonna call this, buoys, or do we get to call it booze or B? I don't know. What are we gonna like nickname these stupid ships?
BOE.
Okay,
Just like
screw you. All right,
SOC.
you're done.
Bowies.
Bowies. Thank you. See,
Just like
Bow, if
David.
anything.
there'll be Bowies. We're gonna be hanging out with the Bowies. Be like David Bowie. Like that's what we need is a pilot named David. We're not gonna get that, but that would be even cooler. That'd be there. You go. That's AMG thinking ahead of the times. So Wedge's ability. He's back at I6, baby. We got him in I6 here. And he gets an extra shield.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he gets an extra shield, but let's give Wedge an extra shield here. After you perform an attack that hits, gain 1 focus token. So you can essentially use your focus token and then get 1 back. I feel like this Wedge is going to have to be coordinated, but this is an aggressive Wedge, right? This Wedge has got Predator on it, right? It's got the APTs. I don't know what is it RZ or R2A3?
R2A3, it's after you perform an action, you can spend 1 charge to gain a lock.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So you can be double modded?
Yes, you just roll up double modded with Wedge. I like the fact that he gets a deplete token after he does the boost. So you can't just like focus, boost R2A3 lock and then still get 5 dice with advanced proton torps. I like that it's still like a 4. So you can't do what you kind of can do with them now.
Yeah. Yep. And of course it has it's a trap, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of rerolls.
Yeah, he's gonna get all the rerolls. I don't know, like, and if they drop this before Worlds, no, hold on, I'll save that for the end of the conversation. We'll have that at the end of the conversation because I think that's very important. But I think that if this is legal for Worlds, I think this is a contender depending on points cost. Like, would you take this over Luke? Over Boy Luke?
Ooh, that's so assuming they're both 5 points is what you're saying, right?
So, yes.
Okay, so assuming over if this comes in at 5 points, I would actually consider this over Luke. The reason being is that Wedge is always going to have a token. His linked action for focus into boost is very, very strong, especially since you don't have to sacrifice your like attack value for that. And even the barrel roll into focus linked action is really, really good for Wedge. So this is a Wedge that can go in arc dodge if he needs to, or boost into a shot if he needs to, and do really, really well at I6. So he's going to really be able to go out there and contest like a lot of I6s that we see, namely Vader. Definitely be able to bully a lot of the I5s, like Kylo and stuff, especially if he's able to arc dodge them. So I think that this is going to be a very, very good piece if it comes in at 5 points.
And the other thing too is if you bring Hera, right? Like now Hera becomes a little bit more important to some extent, or Ahsoka. If Ahsoka would come down to 4 points, you would see Ahsoka all over the place. But Hera almost like you can do your double modded shot twice, right? Like it won't be both APTs, but you can have Hera can give you and it's interchangeable, right? So and the question I have, right? Another question I have is it says after you perform an attack that hits, gain a focus token, right? So if you don't have a focus, you can get another focus. If for whatever reason Hera gives you the focus to spend, you still get another damn focus, right? And so it's crazy some of the interactions with some of these other rebel pilots that this thing's going to have.
Yeah, I mean, and if you take a look at one of the archetypes of rebels that we haven't seen much of as of late, the Heratani list, you can, if this replaces Luke, yeah, you can fit in benthic two tubes that can carry perceptive co-pilot, and give out extra focus tokens, or you can run them with Jyn Erso, and that way when Wedge acquires that focus token, you could change it into an evade token. And that works really, really well, especially if you get Hera to shoot a mag pulse on the target that Wedge is about to attack to. It's super, super powerful to have this other I6 piece in the list to go in there and really like contribute and do like a really solid punch to soften it up for the rest of the list.
Yeah. I don't know. So far, outside of if we get those TIE defenders in really cheap, if they give it to us at 5 or 6 points, outside of that, I really like this wedge. Like this wedge, I feel as long as it's priced appropriately, this is going to come in. This is going to come in, in my opinion, to play here, pretty quickly.
Oh yeah. How much do you think the other pilots will come in? Do you think Gember is going to be worth like 3 points or 4
Yeah.
points?
Well, if it's a proton, yeah, I still think 3 points because it's an I2. I don't think you can, if you put them at 4 points, I mean, I have Tycho, I could take, right?
Yeah.
I don't, I could take Jake for Christ's sake again, I don't know. Like, I don't see that I2 being worth 4 points.
And for Mouse, I think that's still a 4-point chip. I mean, yeah.
That is
I
a
don't- I
really
just-
good
Yeah.
objective getter.
Is it better than Larir? That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, it has one more health more than Lurir, and it's going to be double modded. And I mean, yeah, you still got sensitive controls. So you're going to be able to barrel out of a block if you need to, or boost it out of a block. So I think it's going to be pretty solid.
Yeah, it's just the evade, calculate, and an extra shield, I think just makes it better than Larir, and I love Larir.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, and it's funny. Like, they're going to have a whole scenario that we're going to talk about, but I don't feel as close to the scenarios as I feel like I just want the other pilots to play the game. Like, can you guys
New
stop giving
content.
us, don't give me scenarios, just give me new pilots, like, you make these type of pilots, I guess. I don't care. So all right. So this pack is obviously going to be all standard loadout cards. So essentially, according to the back of this box, we are going to get a bunch of revamped pilots and some new ones I've never even heard of. Alex, which one do you want? Do you want Rebels or Empire?
I can do Rebels, I guess.
All right.
So they're bringing Arvel back, which makes a lot of sense because that was the A-wing pilot that crashed into the ship, right? And that's why Arvel can shoot at range 0. I wonder what new ability. I'm hoping it's like
built-in Denman switch. Right?
Basically, like the what was his name? Jack Borkins, kind of the unstable sublight things. Or bring back 1.0 Oiken ability, just when you ram people to do damage. That'd be funny.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Just run into someone, hit crit. You both take whatever result. That'd be great. That'd be super funny. I don't know. So that one's gonna be cool. Gemmer, so Jane, we already went over. Tycho looks disgusting as well with that procket and the reloads and the still shooting it while disarmed. We have B-Wings in this pack. In fact, 3 B-Wing pilots. Adon Fox, who is the Blade Squadron leader guy. We've got a new version of Braylon and Gina. I wonder if their abilities play off of each other. That'd be kind of interesting. Because I think they were together.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at all this Star Wars lore that I know randomly. So that's really cool. I'm sure it'll play off stress. I wonder if they'll bring back any of the old 1.0 abilities for the B-Wing. Like Nira Dantel's, that'd be cool just to shoot the torp outside of your arc again. That was always super funny to play.
Yeah.
No, we don't.
We have it with Vanessa Doza. You can just do it with a B-Wing.
Mm,
We're gonna get bombs on these B-Wings.
no, no.
There's no you can have bombs, there's no trajectory simulator.
All right, fine, I guess.
They're standardized. And then we're having 3 X-Wing pilots, one of them obviously being that Wedge, one of them being Endor, who's like a Twi'lek pilot, and Kendi Ideli, I don't know. It might be like an Adele situation.
Idel.
Yeah. I have no idea who that is.
I'm really excited for this pilot, mainly because when they kill that pilot, I can say, "Oh my god, you killed Kendi." That's the only reason I'm excited for that pilot. That's it.
And then you're gonna have Lando, who is incredible.
Yeah.
That Lando looks disgusting, and I'm pretty much just enjoy all versions of Lando.
We know. You need a I'm Team Lando shirt.
Yeah. So that's cool. It's 10 pilots for both sides. It's nice that we're getting B-Wings as a surprise, right? Because they only leaked like some of the X-Wing and the A-Wings and Lando. So surprise B-Wing, that's fun. Makes sense, given that that's their movie, right? But I'm excited.
So Kendi Idel is from Iloth, and I guess she used to fly for the Empire, and she used to room with Sienna Ree.
Oh,
So
she's from that comic.
Yeah, so there's that. I guess it says she's excellently skilled with a blaster, able to shoot 3 flying targets in just 1 second. So I wonder if she'll get like a cluster missiles, or maybe she'll get her own special.
Just give her Trani's ability. There you go.
No, Rebels. Rebels does not need that.
After you hit, you can spend a focus to flip a chart or flip a card or something like that.
After you hit, spend a focus, continue shooting.
So she was on Thane Kyrell's squadron.
That's Corona.
Wow. And her job was to protect other squadrons as they penetrated the Death Star. So she's going to have some sort of a defensive ability. That's what she'll have, guaranteed. She has to.
If the defender's not damaged, reroll 1 defense die. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be. I think that would be pretty cool. So I want to know why they. Huh?
A rebel service suit?
It's like a reverse A.
So Yendor is from Ryloth and is a Twi'lek, like you said. Male Twi'lek, I guess. I don't know. She was also in the Corona Squadron. Oh, so that's interesting. So they must be picking that one comic, right?
That's what it looks like. It's just Blade Squadron and like Corona Squadron. And then the people who actually showed up on screen there. And yeah, that makes sense.
He also was in the New Republic.
Interesting. So future pilot probably for the Resistance.
Maybe if we're lucky, right? And they got a ton of history on this dude. I've never heard of this dude. This must be a comic I've never read.
Yeah, Fallen Stars, some of that, right?
I don't know. I just briefly looked them up because I'm just like, I wonder what this character is. Oh,
is Thane Kyrell was an Imperial or no?
There's some sort of love.
I think he was a defector.
Yeah.
Oh my god! You know what? He's a pilot that used harpoon guns.
Ooh, bring back harpoon missiles. Perfect.
No, thank you. You know what? It's called barrage. It's called Diamond Boron missiles. That's what harpoon missiles is. So we got it. We're good. We're covered.
And harpoon missiles were just
terrible.
The worst thing to ever play against.
Yes.
They were significantly worse than even cruise missiles.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's take a look at the Empire here. So I gotta say, I am disappointed that we're only getting 2 TIE Defender pilots, mainly because I love Chiss Engineering and I wanted to get at least 3 pilots. But hey, we get what we got. So we got Captain Yor, which was previously spoiled back at last year's Adepticon. We got Colonel Jendon, who was recently spoiled. He's that I-6 defender. Mouse Moneri, that's that pilot that's on the box there. Sapphire 2, previously spoiled. And the TIE Interceptor, soon to your fell as well. Lieutenant Helsby, we haven't seen this one come in the TIE Fighter, as well as Major Mionda in the TIE Fighter, and Scythe 6 in the TIE Fighter. And then we're going to get two more TIE bombers filling out Scimitar Squadron, Scimitar 1 and Scimitar 3, because they apparently are running out of names for the Imperials coming in here to fill out the rest of the squadron here. So it's good to see that we get at least 4 chassis on both sides, getting extra pilots. And yeah, that's just gonna offer even more options for both factions to field on the table.
So before we get into, so I have a side tangent. Am I allowed to do a side tangent since we don't have a ton of content tonight? Am I allowed to
I'll
be
take.
tangent Tanner?
I do have one myself, but go ahead.
All right, so I want to. What we're going to get into in a minute is discussing points updates a little bit and what this could mean before Worlds. But before I want to talk about this, I have like a side tangent because I feel like so you say, hey, here we have these 2 unnamed pilots, right? And I won't lie and say that some of the unnamed pilots in some of the other packs were kind of meh, except for technically when you play Siege of Coruscant, the droids that are unnamed are actually pretty good in that scenario with those ion missiles. They're actually really good. But there could be a reason for this, right? Do you feel so? Let's pretend here that we're AMG shoes. They don't want to create a whole bunch of new ships because they are not being very imaginative, and it's cheaper to create new cards. And we obviously know that they like these standard loadout cards. Could we see a change with all non-name pilots moving to some sort of a standout loadout card, right? Like, so we basically and I'll be honest with you, this is all triggering because I didn't have enough room in my binder for all the new alt art cards I've gotten over the last like 6 months. So I went through and cleaned my binders out. And the first thing I did is I said, every non-name pilot that's not in CIS or Empire is gone. Like, I kept TIE fighters, and I kept I did keep a few A-wing ones just in case I want to fly an A-wing swarm one of these times, but for the most part I got rid of all generics out of there. So the question is, they obviously do not like generics, but here we're seeing generics showing up again and again. Is this like their way of helping us, like giving us some sort of generic back that is preloaded so we don't have to worry about like trying to build it, and then but giving us like the ability to have cheaper cost units that we can start putting and filtering into our squads?
Yeah,
I
my
mean,
assumption. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Jay, or go ahead, Alex.
Yeah. My assumption was that like these pilots, Scimitar 1, Scimitar 6, Scythe 6, those are just AMG's like generic pilot, but because they're named, you can only bring one of them, so you can't spam them. Like that makes the most sense in my mind. So it's like, hey, look, you can have your generic pilot for some reason because you want to be like a fleet commander, but like you're not going to break the game.
Yeah. And if they give us unique abilities, right? And they give us like, let's say one of those bombers has some pretty, like Deathfire had a pretty cool, unique thing that we'd not seen before. What if they give one of these other bombers something really cool? You're going to want to take it, right? You know, like, and I won't like those jingoists. Remember those ISB jingoists? They did though. They gave us those, and those were like freaking meta forever, because of their cost. And those had a really cool ability that annoyed a lot of people, including myself, all the time. So like, is this their way of giving us generics that are not really generic, that are a little bit more important, but they say, hey, let's screw you guys. We don't want you guys to break the game and run a bunch of generic garbage unless you're in CIS. And then we're going to give you crappy generics that don't work very well and let you run them and then not win and then switch to anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with Alex. I think this is actually AMG's way of actually giving us generics, but limiting the amount of generics that you can have in a list there. Like, it would be interesting to see if they actually bring out standout loadout cards for like unnamed pilots, that have like that generic title, that don't have a chassis ability, or rather a pilot ability, right? They just have upgrades. that would be a great way to have these have those generics come back into the game. They're balanced correctly for what they can do. I mean, we've seen it already in the Mando pack, right, with the Mandalorian generic pilots for the Rebels. You know, you can limit two to bring them in. Same thing over in Scum, right? So we've seen this already happen before, and that's something that is design space that can work in the future for future scenario packs. So we can absolutely we can absolutely get those type of generics coming forward in these kind of packs and to help fill out the rest of the factions.
Yeah. Another question that's kind of come in that somebody brought up is, do you feel this favors the rebels heavily? And so I will say it depends on what they price the defenders at. As of right now, I do not feel that this favors the rebels outside of the fact of Lando and Wedge. Like, I think Lando and Wedge are, if priced correctly, are like home runs. They're just knocked out of the park right now. Um, that Wedge is super totes, my goats. And Lando is pretty good. Again, if they bring Lando in at like an 8 or something like that, you're not running Lando. He's just you're not going to do
Yeah.
that.
I might run that Lando at 8.
All right, I
It was
hate you, Alex.
absurd.
All right, so for the meta, you are not running that Lando at 8. But you know, like if they moved all the if they ban, let's say they ban Bistan, which I actually feel they could just do that. We could just get a banning for Bistan pretty quickly, right? And that's an easy, like, now you have to choose between Han and Lando. Like, you could take Han with veteran, turret gunner, but like that Lando, in my opinion, is better than a veteran turret gunner Han. So I feel for me, it goes into the pricing, which I hate to say, but if they give me some 6-point defenders and some 4 points and 3 point interceptors, I do not feel that it is slated heavier towards the rebels.
I do not want those defenders to be 6 points.
I know you don't.
But
I'm not saying you do. I don't care what you. I don't want Lando to be 7 points, but I don't want to be Han. I don't want to live in a Han Bistan meta. But here we are. Like, why is boy Luke 5 points? And come on. Like, I get your point, but I don't. I also don't care. Like, I would like, if we're gonna break the game with that, give me 6-point defenders. Let's Hanner run.
I mean,
6-point defenders.
I mean, to be fair, these defenders don't have the free evade, and in order for them to use their chassis ability, they got to spend a shield. So that makes them burn down a little quicker than the standard defenders that we have. So I mean,
yeah, give me 2
I'm
defenders.
not saying that they will,
Vader,
but
and a TIE fighter. That's
only their second chassis ability spends the shield smoke, and that's just to make it a range 1 bonus. You still get a free lock instead of a free evade for your 3 through 5s.
That's true.
That's
yeah, it feels like what is it, the TIE Defender Elite, where you get 2 shots at the expense of you not having the free evade all the time. So it does make him feel a little bit like.
Well, the TIE Defender Elite's really bad. The upgrades on these aren't.
All right, JJ, do you agree, or what is your opinion for Vader's Vengeance question?
I think I agree with you. It's really going to come down to the points, right? Because the points is going to dictate what you can fit in the list with these ships, and based on that, it's going to determine the power level of those ships. Sure, everybody's going to min max the numbers once they come out to try to get the most effective combination of these pilots in there. But until we find out what these go, I mean, let's say by some wild coincidence or craziness, they make Wedge a 4-point ship. I'm not saying that's going to happen, and God, no, please don't let that happen. But let's say that Wedge comes out to be like a 4-point ship. Yeah, the Rebels really got.
All right, we're done with JJ's. We're done with JJ. Just said Wedge at 4 points. Are you on a podcast? Like, do you genuinely believe anybody is ever going to give us an I6 for 4 points with 7 health? Like, Poe isn't 4 points.
I mean, I'm strongly of the opinion that Sincere Fell, this Sincere Fell could be 4 points.
Yeah, but that's not going to be 7 health Sincere Fell.
You're right. It's not going to be 7 health. You're right.
All right.
Um, Actually, it seems like this kind of pack. It seems like rebels get more like big ships that you build your list around, like the Lando or like maybe the Tycho and the Wedge. But Empire's getting like a bunch of really strong filler ships. I mean, you can build around the defenders, sure, but like the thing in Empire is that they have a lot of like solid filler ships, so it's going to be really interesting with more options, right? Like, so you have the 3 point bombers, and those are pretty solid. Yeah, good options for 4 points, but if like you're not feeling, like Juno or Merrick, right? But like Soontir Val comes in at 4 or something. That seems like a better upgrade for your filler ships. Like this seems like an Empire get better filler ships list, and then the rebels might just be like, here's better things to build around that's not Han.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Now, the side tangent I wanted to go is the bottom part of that box where it says game contents, right? So we got the 20 standard loadout pilot cards, which we know what those are. With the 5 scenario feature cards, which are going to be the bridge of the Star Destroyer along with the turbo lasers. We get 15 ship tokens, 2 scenario exclusive damage trackers, 5 upgrade cards. That's the part that I'm like, what upgrade cards are we going to get on this particular pack? Do you think, are we getting upgrades for some of the stuff that's already on some of these cards, like, special upgrades for other ships for custom pilots?
I
I'd have
don't
to
know. I guess that's a good point.
give me 1 second. I have like an SOC pack upstairs. I can see if that also says upgrades on the back.
All right, go find it, baby.
And we'll come back to that. Yeah.
I have one next to me. I should have told him before he took his headphones off. Like there's literally
There you
one
go.
like just around the corner. I could just have grabbed it, but that's okay. So the last piece of this that I kind of want to talk through before we get into some sort champs is the rumor I heard was this is going to drop in February, like mid to late February. That's the rumor I heard on it. Now, here's the deal. Do you think that we're going to get a major points update or just a soft, kick you over the curve? And I say this because, and I'm going to caveat this, right? And I caveat this by saying the pure fact that we a haven't had a points update since May. We are going into Worlds. A lot of people have aggressively complained about this. This is not a unknown quantity. If they took all year because they knew this pack was coming out, they could balance around this pack. Do you think that we're going to get a major points shift or
So
not?
I think we'll end up getting two. The first one will be to provide the points for this particular pack. They may include one or two different ships, like not related to this pack, where they might adjust some of their points or anything just in time for Worlds. But I don't expect a major shakeup. I do, however, expect a shakeup after Worlds is complete, and hopefully we'll get a big points update to kind of change up the for the next season of competitive play. I know that the season technically ends at the end of this month, and that's what they've said previously. At the end of this month is where the competitive season for 2023 ends. But I don't foresee them putting in a full points update to go along with this release until after Worlds, honestly. Just because number one, the amount of staff at AMG that would have to be used to dedicate to run all those points and rebalancing when they're trying to focus their attention at getting the last few big events that are going to happen, and also set up for Worlds and all the other stuff that they may or may not announce at Adepticon for it. And typically, Worlds is their event of the year, so it does take considerably a lot more resources for them to put that on to take of it, and their small staff. So I don't see points update until afterwards.
Alex, what do you think?
In relation to what?
Do you think that we're going to get a big points update or a decent size points update when this pack, if this pack releases before Worlds, or do you think that we're more likely to just get these points as an update?
It'd be really cool if we got more points, but I don't think we will. I think they'll just release it at the point value and let people brew from there.
Sad day.
All right, Alex, give us the update, man. What does it say on the box?
Okay, so Boy did not have any upgrade cards listed on the back. Siege of Coruscant did. It has 3 upgrade cards listed on the back, so I'm going to assume that the 5 in here are 1 for each turbo battery, and then the 1 for the command bridge.
Boo. Damn it.
Because that would make sense. Because Siege of Coruscant didn't come with any upgrades, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't think this one would be.
Because you can't use upgrades on standard loadout cards.
Right, but it could have been like, oh, by the way, we're going to errata like the Falcon title or something. Here,
right? The Stein part is coming in this one.
Okay.
Turns out he died before Battle of Endor.
I don't think we'll see that. I think you're dreaming, JJ, if you want that.
I dream the dreams of the people who want Stein to be done.
I mean, I would love new points and like some new balance and stuff, but it's also 2 months away from Worlds with a major release coming in between.
I say give it to people. That's what I say. Like you want to shake everything up, give us some points changes.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Like, yeah.
But, you know,
I would like it too because I'm friends with you and we can plan together. And I'll come out to Detroit for a weekend and we can play X-Wing all weekend long and just test it. I'll just drag my whole kit. We'll just test everything. All right, we're gonna build this. All right, does this work? No, this doesn't work.
they should bump up Afro by 1 point so I can have Babu and Contraband.
Okay. All right. So for the final part of tonight, we're going to go do our pattern analyzer segment and look at what is the meta telling us and is there anything new? So the first store champ we have comes to us from Game Chamber, which is a weird name for a store, but I guess it's Canada. So what can you say? Game Chamber in Canada. They had a store championship that Ryan took down. And look, there's somebody I know named Desi. And Desi is running a unique list here, folks. But Alex, what is the first list that you see here? The winner of the tournament, Ryan, and why is there no Ray in this list? Did he forget that Ray existed?
Nobody likes Ray for some reason. But yes, this is mostly a 5T70. It's 4T70s and Zori, which we see fairly frequently. But there's one interesting upgrade that's new and different. So it just has LO with HLC Heroic Marksmanship, Snap with HLC R68. That's the reroll Predator droid. You see those a lot. Those are, I'm going to say, the most common upgrades that you see on them. You got Veniza Dozo with Barrage Rockets Marksmanship, which makes sense. You got Zori with Dorsal R4, Plasma Torp Wartime. Most common Zori upgrade you see. And then this madman takes after me and is flying Nimi with Prockets and munition failsafe. Because Nimi is just when you attack, it is not like primary. So if you get 1 blank in your Prockets, that's funny because you can just convert that to a focus. And just hit
Oh
really
man,
hard.
That's nasty. I didn't even think of that. Jeez.
You just have to line up the Procket at rate at
I2, yeah.
No problem.
You know how easy that would be if you had Lando?
I mean, if they're flying against all those Afros on the board, without Babu, I mean, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah, I think it also works if you're like there's a gauntlet in there, or if you are worried about facing decimators, right? Like this is like I'm pretty sure Nimi can line up a shot on a decimator and get a
You could
rocket off.
probably legitimately line up a shot on Han with a
Yeah.
rocket. Like any large base ship, you can do.
Unless hot and boosts or something crazy.
Good, cool. Then you don't have a double tapping Han.
Fair enough,
Like,
I guess.
That's yeah. So I like it. I like the change. I like Nimi. I wouldn't fly this list, but it's solid enough. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. It's cool. It shows you the versatility of those T-70s, being able to change them in and out. Notice they didn't get rid of Tim and Orello for Nimi.
Because like there's always kind of a weird thing of what do you even what on Nimi, because she doesn't have a talent slot or anything. So typically it's like M9G8 and the Ferrisphere and 1 point left over, So you might as well just throw a rocket on there. You got 9 points. Munition failsafe is good enough that you don't need a. Her ability with the focus and munitions failsafe is probably good enough that you don't need a lock. And if you do, you have a failsafe.
That's true. All right. The next list is brought to us by our very own Desi. We have a showing of Yoda, baby. That's my favorite pilot. I love me some Yoda. Patience, brilliant evasion, which I don't like, but I'll give you credit for running it. And shield upgrade. Lumi with patience, R7, A7, and CLT. Shock T with patience and C10P, the chopper of all chopperists, and Obi-Wan SOC and Anakin SOC. So this is a 5 ship, which I think we've seen. You know what? Now that I think about it, Desi, I think you ran in another tournament and played this. But this is a very defensive list. And I love the chopper. I love the chopper call. That's just like Shock T carrying chopper is hilarious. Like that's just music to my ears.
Yeah,
Why
definitely.
is chopper even allowed in Republic? Like that should just not be a thing.
I mean, he was in a Y-wing when Chera discovered him during the Clone Wars.
Was there a dead Jedi outside of there? No.
No, clone.
Let you have your one champ card. And you know what's funny? I don't own 4 patience cards. I found out I only own 3. I found that out this weekend when I went through all my cards. I like because they started downsizing. Like I used to keep 8 cards of everything that was not unique, just in case I wanted to run it on 8 units. And now that we don't have that meta anymore, I was just like, I'm gonna stick all that shit in a box. But I only have 3 patience. Found out. I don't know if I've ever ran 3 patience cards.
Now, I got to say, the synergy in this list is really, really good, right? So, first, let's take a look at Obi-Wan and Anakin, right? The Siege of Coruscant versions. Now, they work off of each other. So, essentially, after they execute their maneuvers, they can spend a force to either perform a barrel roll using Anakin's ability, or perform a boost using Obi-Wan's ability. So, that allows them to get that reposition by spending a force. If they happen to spend that force, they have Yoda, which allows him to spend his force instead of their own force. So he becomes that force battery for the rest of the list. And you also have Shock T that can spend her force at the end of the round to make sure that those her friendlies can hang on to extra the tokens that they have on there. It could be like an evade or focus token. So you can send in Obi-Wan and Anakin to be essentially double modded if they need to for their engagements. And then you can use Patience to recover both of your force the following turn. And then you have Chopper, which provides you that red evade, and so he flips into a jam. So now you're jamming people while providing, making sure that the rest of your list has tokens, and Yoda's being that battery to completely power all of this. And then on top of that, you got Lumi who is using her force to reduce the attacks as long as you're not in the attacker's bullseye, using her ability, and she can also use Yoda's ability to use that multiple times. So you can actually potentially use that 5 times in one round if Yoda is full up on force and just negate 5 dice completely. It is definitely a very defensive type of list that can do a lot of work.
Don't forget, like at the end phase, Shock T hold green tokens thing, you can spend Yoda's force as well. So you can do it to like, I mean, your whole list,
Everybody.
I guess, theoretically, but like
Mhm.
just walking in there with an evade or two
It
after reposition.
it feels like Kraken from CIS, but better.
Yeah,
That's what it feels
for real.
like.
It feels like, man, you better be really good at bullseye and flying these Edas because there's not a lot of health in those lists.
All right.
And
This is JJ's new list here. You're going to fly this
shoot, I mean,
for 312.
and if you think about it, right, you essentially recharge 3 force, right? Because you have the end of turn force recovery, and then you have patience, which gives you 2 more force. So Yoda goes from spending all of his force to all of a sudden having 3 full force. Like that's insane. That's
Well,
really good.
patience only gets you one back.
Yeah.
Oh, it only gives you one. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, my bad. Yeah, completely incorrect, but still, you
JJ's
regenerate
cheating at the game
force.
again, folks. Here we go.
I feel like Marcel just changing my own rules. That's
So
fine.
this is what we're gonna do. We need a segment where we go through and find all the times JJ has incorrectly stated a card. And then somebody needs to go back through and watch all his stream games and see how many times he's used that incorrectly.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know who would probably do really good against this list though? Ray. You can have all 3 evades you want. I'm still throwing 4 to 5 dice.
Oh, you're
And you have
me.
no shields? Oh, so sad, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, like, congratulations on Desi for getting another like top 3 spot with the super high skill list.
Yeah, this list has to be fun to fly. I don't own 5 Adas, by the way. I originally was going to own 5 of them. I bought 3. My son gave me 1, and then I never bought the 5th one, and then I sold 1 because it was like, I'll never fly. Like,
Well, to say if you have the 4, I mean, Lumi's in the
4 and a 7. Yeah.
I don't
That's
have
a
the 4
7.
anymore though. I saw, like I said, I sold them because it was like, I don't know, like what am I gonna ever use 4 of them for? Like that was back when I decided to spend stupid amounts of money on X-Wing. Now I do not do that. So,
God, my scum list would love this too because all those deplete tokens are red tokens.
mhm.
Yeah. Now we will take a quick announcement here coming from the 312 League. It is official. Chris has carried it out on not facing me for next week's matchup. He will
What?
instead be playing against my captain Jammin. So unfortunately, we're not going to see the JJ versus Chris matchup next week for 312. So
Jamming that guy in GSP that's always in the scum chat. I talk to him a lot.
yes,
Nice.
Well, that's sad.
The last list
I'm
we
sad
went
now. I wanted to fight JJ.
All right. So looking
I
at
would fly this. We would you fly Republic, I fly Republic. We could literally have just done an Ada off. That's what we should have done. It's just an Ada off.
so much bullseyes. Jeez. Gosh.
Are you guys like split into like timelines, like the prequel trilogies and like the sequel
my team
trilogies?
did. My team did that, yeah. Because
Oh.
what happened is, so now you're tangenting us. But what happened was on my team, like I just posted the chat and said, hey, I'll fly whatever you guys don't want to fly. I don't care. Like this is gonna be my for fun time. Like just so everybody knows. Like I'm not gonna be serious. I'm just gonna literally fly for fun lists, things that I feel. Things that I would like to put on the table, but I can't. So they each picked. Matt has been jamming FO lately, and the other gentleman, what's his name, Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he says that he has played Rebel and Empires, and so I said, well, all right, well you can have Rebel Empire. And I said, Matt, you just want Resistance 2? We'll just call it a day. We'll just everybody will take one thing except for Scum. We just won't take Scum.
Tragic.
And it's not, because if I'm going to fly Scum, I might as well just fly CIS because I like it better. So anyway, the last list, JJ, what did Jamie bring?
So we got another Republic list making the top here. So we got Oddball, the SOC version, and the ARC 170. We got an appearance of Bo-Katan Kryze in the Gauntlet. She's traveling with Wolfpack, Kit Fisto, the Swivel Wing, and Gauntlet title. I had to go and actually take a look at what the Kit Fisto did, but essentially you can
Kit
spend a
Fisto's
force.
legit.
Yeah, you can spend a force to allow yourself or another friendly to take a red evade token for that force. We got R2D2 in the Y Wing with dorsal turret C3PO and synchronized console. We got Boost with dedicated, Slider with dedicated, and then the Siege of Coruscant kickback in the Torrent to round off that list. Man, that is a very interesting list. Seeing Bo-Katan Kryze with Kit Fisto and Wolfpack, you got a lot of rerolls here with dedicated, and you can give off that evade to whoever you need to with Kit Fisto. You can definitely make this a very defensive list if you wanted to with this, and then Boost and Slider are just excellent chips to go and contest objectives, and you got some solid offense with Oddball, Bo-Katan, and Kickback, and on top of that, you can use Bo-Katan's ability to provide somebody with the target lock using her ability. So it's a very very solid list.
Oh, you don't even like. There is something you could do that is disgusting in this list, and that is with Kit Fisto, because Kit Fisto is 0 to 1. You can do that to Oddball, and then it's a red action. So then Oddball gets the lock and also can pass the evade with Born for this.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that. Oh man, I was
I've
actually
flown-
thinking of the Sync console link too, with the Bo-Katan lock.
Back.
But man, that is so good. I like that a lot.
Oh yeah, I did another arc with I did a sinker, so that's crew slot with Kid Fisto and SOC Oddball, and it's really silly because you just roll up with the focus and you're like, Kid Fisto, get an evade and a lock. I still have my focus. Oh, I'm gonna pass off my evade. Oh, then you shot Oddball. Cool. I'm gonna pass off my focus too.
Man, I'm telling you, Bo-Katan is a ship that's been slept on for so long that just seeing like little combos like this, I think is a solid ship now. It's a very decent ship.
I still don't like Bo-Katan in Republic at all, but Kid Fisto's cool.
Yeah, and Kit Fisto at minimum is an 8.4 screw. So it's 8 points for force crew. That's
we'll give you
that's
an
crazy.
auto evade too if
yeah,
you don't mind doing a blue next turn.
Yeah, and your Bo-Katan, you're probably not going very far anyway. So,
I like Wolfpack in that list. You don't utilize it too much between like Kickback and R2D2 and Boost and Slider, but I like that as an option to have Wolfpack on because Wolfpack is a great upgrade that no one ever runs.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better though than taking Contraband or Mando optics or something like that. I don't know. Maybe you probably don't need the Mando, but maybe Contraband. Like, I don't know. I like Contraband on those things. I just do. So,
I mean, R2D2 is 3 points, Kickback's 3 points. If you take those out, you get a 6-point ship. There's not really good 6-point ships in Republic, so then you take in one of the Z's. Now you have a solid 2 4-point ships that can use Wolfpack. Would be pretty good.
All right. The next one, Mythic Games, Colorado. They did a top cut. No, they did not do a top cut. But they had a lot of people at this one. I think they had like 27, something like that. Definitely some unique lists in this. We're seeing another appearance of Mando. That is Alex's favorite ship that he thinks everyone should fly in Scum. We're also seeing, oh my God, JJ. Hey, JJ. Hey, JJ. Did something win with a ship that you said wasn't popular today? Wait, did something just go 4-0 at a store champ? Oh, that's not the first time we've seen Broadside show up, right? Like, I don't know if you don't pay attention to the rest of our streams, but Broadside's been showing up quite a bit. So I feel like you claiming Broadside and Slider are not somewhat meta staples is a little ridiculous here, because I feel we just saw that. I don't know where I saw that. Maybe Alex, where do we just see Slider? And are we seeing a Broadside? Where have we seen these before?
You know, it
But not in
says
the same list.
Slammer, right, and not Slider.
Yeah,
No, I know,
he's on
but
the previous
Slider was
list.
in the one above it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Yeah,
I gotta say, I feel like this is a 3-1-2 list because of the whole bounty for winning with Slammer on your list. Like, I felt like he took that challenge personally and decided to win a store championship with it.
I don't know, maybe because this list not only has Slammer, right? Not only has Slammer, but it also has Ahsoka Tano in it, right?
Yeah,
and
CLT
we
Ahsoka.
aren't seeing Ahsoka all the time in lists, but in this list you have 6 ships. Why not run Ahsoka? 2 Jedi's pretty good. No pay or and she even has patience. Oh my god, she even has patience too. Oh, Alex, what is this list? We're not going to let JJ talk about it. JJ can make no comments because JJ doesn't think Broadside's very good. He thinks it's so off meta that he's like breaking news in his list.
Good. I did not say it wasn't good. I just said it's not meta.
But
I'd
obviously
probably
it
take
is.
like 4 or 5 ships over Broadside, but whatever.
Hmm?
Yeah, so this is SOC Anakin in the Eda. It's got CLT Ahsoka with R4P17 and patience. It's so tough to justify flying Delta 7 Ahsoka. It is 4 points, but the 7B Ahsoka is so good, but that's 6 points, and that's real rough to justify. Then you got a SOC Kickback and SOC Axe, both of those in the Torrents. And then you got another Torrent with Slammer, the I1, I can slam every other turn, even while stressed Torrent. Which is kind of funny with barrage rockets and dead eye shot. Don't want the munitions failsafe just in case. And then broadside with ion cannon turret, R4P, and seismic charges. Slammer. You can do the 3 straight 3K. I guess I mean you can do whatever you want. You can do 2 talent to 2 talent. Who cares? Well, no, I guess you can't do the red maneuver after you're stressed, but you can slam while stressed. So you can do like the 3K into a 3 straight, clear your stress, and be where you were exactly, but face the other direction.
Yeah, Desi, you have a new challenge. How can you take an I-1 torrent? I mean, all right. So we have to talk about Slammer a little bit though, because that's it. I don't know. It's
so let's talk about what it does, because honestly, I am not familiar with Slammer at all. So
after you fully execute a maneuver, you could spend 2 charges to perform a slam action, even while stressed.
Now, I have a question though. If you're going to perform a slam action, you're then taking the disarm, right?
Yep.
So is it like in this list? Is it the objective getter that just says, "Hey, come get me"? Either come kill this ridiculously low cost ship.
I mean, like, you don't have to slam every other turn, right? It's just kind of cool.
I don't know. Like, to me, it seems really good if something wants to joust you, you just 4 straight, slam into another 4 straight, go right past them, pick up that objective, go around the churn. I don't know.
Well, if you're getting a crate, you can't slam anymore.
Okay,
tragically.
whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I just Slammer's okay. It's 3 points, and you don't want or own a V-wing, I guess. And it's 5 health. I don't particularly like Torrents.
We know.
If you had Plo Koon, though, you can remove that disarm token, which would be really funny to me.
Oh man, yeah, that would be really funny.
But it seems a little unnecessary to Spend the force to remove the disarm token so your I1 torrent can shoot. But it's probably pretty solid for assault, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or if even on salvage, right? Like if you put in a crate in an area where your opponent is less likely to go get it, you can go and contest it. I mean, you know how many times people set up like Sabine by herself to go get a crate that's back there while the rest of the list goes forward. Set in Slammer. Slammer go in, he'll grab the crate before Sabine can, and now Sabine has to try and catch you and try to knock off that crate. Yeah.
It shouldn't be hard to catch you because you're a torrent and you're slow as hell and you can't slam with a crate.
Well, she can only two straight, and you can one straight. So good luck.
She has a roll. She can get out of there. She doesn't have to be behind you. But yeah, no, it's a slammer's very niche. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, it takes some serious skill, definitely.
All right. What is the next list that we have here?
So we got an Empire list there. We got Morniki making an appearance in the Decimator with Ruthless, Death Trooper's fifth brother, the Thermal Detonators and Dalton's title. We got Countdown in the TIE Striker with Lone Wolf shield upgrade. And then Tomax Bren, this is the standard loadout version with True Grid Plasmas and Ions. And then the SSP Vader, the starter pack Vader with a Hate Ion and Afterburners to round off this list. Definitely very strong four-ship list for the Empire, being able to really control your opponents with those Death Troopers. And Countdown is just a menace to take down. If you don't dedicate at least two ships to try to take down Countdown, it's going to be just really, really hard to get any damage through on that ship there. Meanwhile, Morna and Vader are just there to just punish really, really hard. Morniki being able to use Fifth Brother to get crits reliably with that ability and just controlling the board with thermals. It's a really strong list.
Man, it's tough to justify thermals instead of like, well, no, never mind. You got fifth brother. You can't take agile. Never mind.
Yeah.
Ugh, agile is so good though.
Yeah, Agile would be really good. Yeah. But you got Dauntless, so I mean, even if you bump, you can rotate.
All right. The next list is Grand Lotus. Alex, what is that list?
Well, this is another interesting Republic list. So you have SOC Anakin and SOC Oddball, pretty standard. You got Wolf with R4P, VTG, and expert handling. It's generally what you see if you're bringing customized Wolf. It has my boy Contrail with Bash R4P and shield upgrade. And then Audi Gallia with Chopper, Debris Gambit, and CLT. So they took like Duncan's list and split the Anakin 7B into SOC Anakin and Contrail.
Which makes sense. It's nice to see Adi Gallia make an appearance, right? You know, no outmaneuver though. So,
Oh, well, you have Chopper, Debris Gambit, and an ability that can provide some offense. Other than like Plo Koon could do the same thing, Chopper, Debris Gambit, but he also gets patience, but his ability is more supportive. And Adi can kind of just do things on her own.
yeah. The last list we have here is a scum list by Chewbacca with K's
Chewbacca.
instead of C's.
Chewbacca.
This is the hick version of Chewbacca. I can see the Chewbacca with the straw hat, little. Anyway, so we have Fen Ra with Beskar, Predator, Fearless, Mando with the Razor Crest title, Optics, and the Child, Lee Mackay with Watchful Astromech, Cluster Missiles, and Dorsal Turret, Bosk with Expert and Marksmanship, and then Leighton Ashar with HLC and Elusive. Why does Leighton just not have an ion cannon here? Is it like, why would you just not? How often are you lining up the bull? I guess you're an I4, right? I guess you're an I4. It's an I4, right?
I thought
No,
Lightning was
I3
a
actually.
3.
Or
Yeah.
she's a 3. Yeah.
No, the real. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, I guess the points, right? Because HLC is one less than ion cannon.
Sure. Yeah, you could get your elusive in there, but I just feel ion cannon.
I would have gone with a missile, honestly. But
just put on
I
snapshot.
mean,
You could do that.
snapshot.
9 points.
Yeah. that's
Alex,
true.
would you really run snapshot on?
Yeah,
I'd
'cause
run it over
durability.
HLC elusive.
Okay,
Yeah,
would you run it over
'cause
ion
you-
cannon or concussion missiles?
I'd not run. I wouldn't run it M3.
Okay,
If I was,
all
it'd
right,
be
all
quite
right.
gassed.
So snapshot is actually a decent choice because her ability does trigger when you attack or you defend, and so you can snapshot and then get a free evade. So that is something.
Or if you hit with snapshot, cool, you just got free damage, right? You
Exactly,
don't always have
yeah.
to just try to go for the evade. But yeah, it does kind of play durability a little bit.
Yeah.
That Lima though.
No.
that
I
hurts
know. I
me.
was going to say that Lima. I could hear your frustration for no R4P11.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I don't understand why. It's a cluster missile thing, I guess. Everybody wants it. Let's put Lima Kai really close so that it dies right away. Let's just do that. I don't know. They
Doesn't
made
have an ability
top
that-
7. They hit a 3. They went 3-1. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they
that's
did
still
well.
pretty good, man.
God, I just
Yeah.
what are you running into that you would just be like, yeah, man, I need watchful Astrovac. I often find myself in the middle of everyone around, so I have to rotate my turn, and I want that red calculating so I can't escape next round because I'm doing a blue.
I mean, sometimes the board state changes and you need to do that 3 bank and then barrel roll to get behind somebody or out of their front arc.
Well, then you don't get it with the
Oh yeah,
watchful
that's
Astrovac.
right.
That's
You
only when
can't
you
get much
rotate
rest.
and
It's only when you
reload.
rotate.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Good point.
You're just diving in there and you're like, you know what, reload. Don't want a shot.
Yeah, good point.
Like watchful's 2 points, which is like sure, there's not a lot for 2 points, but like R4 is 2 points as well.
Yeah, R4 is definitely a solid option there.
I mean, you're probably not reloading your cluster missiles. Like if you did,
Maybe
congratulations. Like your opponent let you flank with Lima and then get off 4 cluster missile shots, and now you have to reload by other people.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Virginia. Another top 4. Mr. Paul Heaver making top 4.
Oh wait, sorry, it's even worse because it's a red reload on the Y-wing. You can't even do it with the reload. It's just rotating. Now we can go. I'm sorry. I feel personally attacked.
We have the St. Louis one. Mystic, just be patient. Your name's in there. We see your name in there.
I can't wait.
Don't worry. We're saving you yours for last. There's a reason Missouri is last tonight. And it's because there's double Landos in there. So let's go through Virginia. They did a top 4. They had enough people to get a top 4. I guess I'm glad I don't live in Virginia because I swear to God, Paul Heaver goes to every damn event. Like he's always at the event and always making. Can you imagine? Like, oh, I get to go to an event. Oh, Paul Heaver just ruined my day.
He's usually there, and so is Duncan Howard. And so yeah.
Thank God I don't live in that area. So this one is had a top 4. A couple of fun lists. So the third list by Metal Carnage, we're not going to cover because it's your standard Han, Luke, Wedge, Keo, Sabine list. But I didn't feel like cutting it out because it was like, that's extra work, and I didn't want to do that. So the winner here is Travis Johnson, who is Malakorv. I don't know why. Is that it? Am I correct in this?
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe so. Yeah.
All right. And he brought Zori with R4, Wartime, Plasmas, and Dorsal. Elo with Heroic In Swarm Tactics, Temin with R68, Heroic, and Ferrosphere. Jess with M9G8 and Electronic Baffle. And then Lulo with Shield Upgrade, Marksmanship, and Predator. So, Alex, the first question I'm going to ask is, why is Jess got Electronic Baffle over Heroic?
Jess does not have a talent slot.
Okay, well, there's the answer then. Because I was a little confused why in God's Great Earth you would be running that over Heroic. Shows you how often I run Resistance. I don't know. This is I do not like Swarm Tactics on Elo. I'm sorry. I'm not going to get over that. I don't think. I think that's just me. Maybe me being a dick. I don't know. I just do not. I don't know. We saw it on 312 stream today too. So
yeah,
you see it a lot.
It just depends on the formation, right? Because Temin can really work on his own or work in from another vector. Same thing with Lulo. You want to keep Zori close by to another ship that's going to give her actions. So Jess is definitely a nice companion for that. And if you can keep Elo nearby to Jess, now you have 4 ships engaging at I5 and then Temin engaging at I4 to be that finishing shot. So if you're looking to eliminate a ship that you can like focus all your targets on, it could be a very strong like offensive piece there.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just mainly used for Jess Bava. So you have a whole bunch of shots at I5.
Yeah.
M9G8 target, though, that's the interesting thing, because that Elo doesn't have Predator. It's got Heroic Jamming Beam instead.
Yeah.
But, man, M9G8 on Lulo is so good. Just getting that reroll out the rear arc is critical. So I wonder which one you M9G8. I would personally do Lulo, but I can definitely see.
Yeah, I would say Lulo. Yeah, Lulo is probably the best option for that. Although if you're sending, Temin does have it, but you don't always get the bullseye. But
he's got R68. Like other people can bullseye and look at the rerolls, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think Lulo is definitely the candidate for M9G8. Definitely.
All right, Alex. The next list has an Ezra in it. Somebody wanted to run some cool Ezra cards. What? Okay. What is this list?
So, someone played early 2.0 and they're like, yeah, no, Han Solo didn't change from them, right? Because this Han Solo has the Falcon title, engine upgrade, novice tech, cannon, and lone wolf, which was really good in 2.0. Like that Kanan on there was really good. Novice tech is actually really nice because you can reroll the novice tech die if you do get a hit.
Yeah, this is like a Corey build. Corey likes this style of build.
Yeah, that's how we always built our Han Solos for a really, really long time. I mean, we had a trick shot instead of lone wolf, but that's how Josh and I ran Han Solos back in early 2.0. It's got Boy Luke, you got Beskar, Sabine, and for the remaining 6 points, you bring Ezra in a gauntlet without Hera. So you have the Night Brother title, Contraband, Magva, all really good. And then instead of spending your 4 points on Hera, you spend it on marksmanship and heightened perception instead. Which is interesting. It's a gauntlet. People aren't good against gauntlets because no one plays them, right? So it's interesting. I wouldn't use heightened perception though. You only got one force.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
that's
niche,
exactly what I was gonna say.
Again, marksmanship and heightened perception can just be Hera, and Crew Hera is super good on Ezra.
And what is Crew Hera? Tell us what it is, Alex. If you're gonna reference it.
Crew Hera doesn't do anything. Now, Crew Hera lets you execute red maneuvers while stressed.
There you go.
And if you fully execute a red maneuver, if you have 3 or more stress tokens, you remove 1 stress and suffer a damage, which doesn't happen like super
ever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you know when it happens? You know when it happens? There's only one time it happens, when you get the Panic Pilot card. That's when it happens.
Yeah.
But being able to stop like multiple turns in a row, super good. But like stopping, you trigger Ezra's ability. That's kind of like Brilliant Evasion or like a double hit focus conversion off just one force. And you get the Night Brother title ability. So after you do like a non-blue, if you're still stressed, you can spend 2 to get a focus or an evade.
Yep.
And you can also have contraband.
Yep.
So you can like contraband, stop, get a free evade, take a target lock, and then has Ezra's ability to convert 2 of those focuses with 1 force, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that Ezra. I wish I don't know. I don't know. I wish Ezra had a few more points. But I agree with you. Like the heightened perception seems a little weird in this list. I don't know. Just me.
Yeah, I mean, like, same thing for me with Mace, but like Mace really doesn't have a lot of options. But it's like cool. You can, I guess, if you're gonna die, you can still get a shot off.
And
But
you
that
know, it'd be
seems like a waste
cool.
of 3 points.
Let's run Ezra and Chopper together. How about that? Can you run Ezra, Chopper, Kanan, or not Kanan? Callus.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah.
That leaves 1 point though. Too bad. Never mind.
You can still run it. Just give your
Yeah, no one's
opponents
gonna do that.
that.
No one's gonna give a point up, JJ. That's not how the like unless it's broken.
Why
No one's
not just
giving a
run
point up.
Ezra, Chopper, and Han?
You're still giving a point up, then you know. I was thinking thematic rebels.
Kanan, Ezra. Put Maul on Kanan and Ezra and Han, Orlando or whatever.
All right, let's move on. The last list, Paul Heaver, JJ. What is that? It looks pretty similar, except for we have some BB-8 appearance, but not in the ship.
Yeah, so we got Ludo with shield upgrade crackshot, Jess Papa with R2D2. We got Elo Atsi with the R68 and crackshot, Timon Wexley with N98 and Predator, and Karakun with BB8 and Predator to round off this list. So definitely you're using that R2D2 for Jess's ability, or you can use it to regen a shield if you need to, just depending on what the situation is. I feel like this list can actually be played a lot more loosely in formation to do whatever you need to depending on the situation, because you're not really tethered to anybody. I mean, Jess can be close by to somebody if you need to, but she does
That
have
should be. Her
R2D2.
ability doesn't work unless.
Yeah, but you're not having to run like a group of 3, right? You can just tether her like next to Elo to like just generate those rerolls there. BB8 on Karakun is an awesome ability because you can use that system phase boost to use Karakun's ability to do like a hard 1. So that's actually a really spicy way to do that during the system phase. Just do a hard 1 and then perform your maneuver. You can actually do like a full K turn that way. Just do a hard 1 and then a hard 2, and you're turned around and you're not stressed. So that's a nice way to take advantage of that particular ability.
Yeah, system phase 1 hard boost. Pretty nice.
Are you sure it's nice?
Yeah.
Or is it just mean? That's what I want to know. All right, last one. Missouri game night. We got Mystic in the chat, winning the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think I took this before he won or they won.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess. Is that's how that works. But we got 2 appearances in Lando. Isn't that some crazy? That's crazy, Alex. Look, it's your favorite. It's your favorite. And how about this? Okay, the top like 6. There is some really cool stuff here, and that's why I wanted to go over all these lists. Right?
Yeah.
Is because there's just some really cool stuff. I almost threw Matt Newt's list in there. We've seen it before, but I almost threw that in there too because it was like that's so cool. But these 4 are the ones that won out. So, Alex, what did Mystic run and win and take down the store champ with tonight?
No, I'm passing on that. I am going to do the 4-0 list because that is my friend. So
Okay, all right. JJ, fine. Screw you.
Feel
You
free.
just said both. JJ, what did Mystic run?
So Mystic ran a resistance list. So we got an appearance of Lando Calrissian in the YT 2400 with C3PO crew, Ray Gunner, Contraband Cybernetics, and the Ray Millennium Falcon title. Elo Atsi with Ferrosphere paint, the foils, and HLC. Chorus Capellum in the Y Wing with dorsal turret or wartime loadout. That is the token stealing one,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
The I1, give me your token now.
Yeah, that's the one. And then we got Liga Fosang also in the Y Wing with cluster missiles and wartime loadout. And then Shasa Zara with Ferrosphere Paint wartime loadout and cluster missiles. So you have really three solid options for Lando to go in there and coordinate with his ability. You can get him in there with their boosted within range to get those cluster missile shots. But if they're already in range, then you can pretty much double mod these Y wings to take full advantage of their ordnance. And if you get that bullseye lined up, your opponent's not going to be able to take advantage of canceling crit results. So they can absolutely push damage through. I imagine if you go up against any type of decimator, you're going to just annihilate that particular ship. And then Eloatsi, being that I5 that can also punish with HLC, is also a very solid choice. And having Ferrosphere paint on at least two different ships there that can reposition and be out of those bullseyes is plus just being able to either force them to discard that target lock or get them stressed, which helps you out to outmaneuver them for later on. So yeah, congrats, Mystic. This is a solid list.
Yeah, you've seen something similar. We brought it up in our last podcast, right? About lists to look out for.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
was Lando and like 3 Ys and typically LO. Um, but yeah, I mean, like the cluster missiles are a little bit different. Um, typically for Liga, you'd see like diamond boron missiles, and for Shaza, it's like plasma torps. But cluster missiles make sense because that's just if you have a lot of people all clustered together, it's literally what it's named after, right? So, and then Lando just giving out whatever tokens. Still not my preferred version of Lando, but we're gonna get into that.
All right. The runner up was the Baron himself. And I'll tell you what, it was a 17-11 game. Mystic took it. They must not have finished the roll better because it doesn't show a winner for it. So
Yes, so the 4-0 who came in second, that's former local, Mitch Wittenberg. He's a great guy. And then he moved out to Missouri. Now he's dead to me. But we were actually we were
why? You
talking
got a
about
house you could sleep at. You could go out to Missouri anytime you want. Dude, it's only 7 to 9 hours. It's 9 hours for you. So it's 9 hours. You could have gone to this tournament. What the hell, Alex?
I consider
You had a
well,
place to stay?
Mitch didn't tell me that he had a tournament. I would have gone. I love Mitch. But yeah, he asked me. It's like, so I want to go into Resistance, and I was always sharing Lando stuff with him. So he's like, I want to fly Lando. I'm like, okay, he's fun. Lando's great, and he's just like, we're just bouncing back and forth, just whatever kind of ships that he likes. He doesn't really want to do like the A wings. We were talking about. It's like, well, Lulo doesn't really fit with Lando. It's Lulo ends up being tethered, and that's not good for A wings. So I'm just like, Jarek with a Magpul is always really good. Y wings are pretty popular. So he took those and changed a bunch of upgrades to fit his playstyle. And I believe him and Mystic, they were in the last round together in Swiss, and then Mitch won. Then it went to the next round. The two other people there, I guess, already had their store champ win, so they both dropped. So then Mystic and Mitch played like a rematch essentially in the finals, and then Mystic beat him. Revenge of the Swiss style. But Mitch has Lando with Contraband, Agile, Corsella, C3PO, Heroic, which is almost my Lando build. I have Lone Wolf. He doesn't believe in Lando Lone Wolf. But now he's played enough games that he's just like, yeah, I can see why you bring Lone Wolf, because Lando is not always going to be at range 2. Actually, I'm interested. Like Mystics in the chat, what do you think about not having Ray Gunner? I mean, Agile's super nice, right? But Corsella and just doing a lot more actions seems really good. Mitch also had Jarek with Mag Pulse, Heroic, R4 targeting computer, and the title. He's got Plasma Torp, Marksmanship, Heroic, Allo. Then he's got the 2 I3 Y-Wings, Shaza with Cluster Missiles, R3, and Wartime, and then Liga with Wartime and M9G8, which is a really interesting choice. I believe he M9G8'd Lando for an extra offense. And technically, Liga can get rerolls in this list with Lando's C3PO coordinate for them to calculate. Technically, I'm sure that never happens, but Mystic says Ray is better.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that camp too. I like Ray better, but that's just
Have you played Lando?
no. I've played Resistance without Ray though, so anyway, keep going.
Oh, I strongly disagree that Ray is better. I like the flexibility that Lando offers with not having Ray. But yeah, that's Mitch's list. It's cool to see him actually like make a cut and do well, and also go 4-0 in a Swiss.
Yeah.
All right. The next list is a rebel list. JJ, what did Captain Bojangles run?
So we got a showing here. We got Luke Skywalker, boy Luke Skywalker in the X-wing, something we see as a staple. But we got an appearance of Nora Wexley in the Y-wing with ion cannon turret, veteran turret gunner, R4 astromech, and afterburners to round off her loadout, which I did not know you could fit all of that in a Y-wing. It's nuts.
It's 5 points for a reason, though.
Yeah. And next up, we got Bodic Avenge with Predator, Mando Optics, Beskar, and Reinforced Plating, Q Avenzi with Crackshot and Ion Missiles, and then Sabine Wren with Starburst / Mando Optics, Beskar, Reinforced Plating, and the A-Wing. So this actually offers a lot of control here. So Nora wants to be in that range 1 bubble around the defender, so that way she gets an auto evade added on to her defensive results. And being able to double tap with an ion cannon, you're going to get 3 die primary first, and then 4 die attack from an ion cannon for Nora. More than likely, you're going to get ionized, and Nora is just going to basically do laps around you to use that ship as the evade battery that she's going to be for as long as she survives there, while the rest of the list comes in and takes advantage of it. Being ionized also helps Bodica range control a lot better to take advantage of the Concordia face-off, being able to get that auto evade at range 1, and then just set yourself up for a really big finishing shot from Bodica to deal damage there. Also, if you're taking the time to shoot at Nora and she's getting that free evade, Bodica is most likely going to be set up to punch back and have that revenge shot as well. And then you got Kyo with Crackshot and Ion Missiles, just allowing Kyo to have a 3-die gun and also offer that ion control and really set up those shots from Nora and Luke to finish off, or at least prevent you from contesting objectives like scramble or in salvage, preventing you from escaping with the cargo, or at least taking the cargo action. It's definitely a really nice control list. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely something we have not seen before. I I think it's funny because John, a friend of the show that we used to talk with, John DeBoer, loves Nora. Like he used to run Nora all the time. That was like his favorite ship to run. I swear to God. And that was just a he liked Soon's Hair Fell because it messed with Charles. But outside of that, he liked Nora, and he would run Nora quite a bit. I don't know. Like I wish Nora was 4 points personally, but I can understand if she was at 4 points, how it would probably be a little broken. Because the probability of taking Nora off the table is a lot more daunting at 4 points, whereas at 5 points you're at least preventing something else. Because at 5 points you can then take Sabine, put her back at 2, right? And you have another ability to take 2 points and put it somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like it. I like this list. I think it's fun. In the aspect of this is something we definitely have not seen before. A crack shot ion missile, Keo. Kudos, I guess. Like
Yeah.
ion missiles are not my jam, but I could see ionizing something or a couple of things and keeping them in place is kind of a detriment to society. The last list is by Doug Howe. Love Doug Howe. Used to be part of the show, or not part of our show, but he used to we talked with Doug Howe quite a bit when we first started. And Doug brought Fen Rao with Burnout Thrusters, Beskar plating, and Fearless. The Mando, again with the Razor Crest and Mando optics, and the Child. Bosk with Fearless. Here you go, baby. Bosk with Fearless. That one, I'm a little confused on, but hey, cool. I guess if you're just going to kill Bosk off anyway, you might as well let him get free stuff. I don't know. And then Dr. Aphra with Houndstooth, Babu Frick, Han Solo Gunner, and Rook Cast. That is definitely a unique Dr. Aphra. And I do, Doug, if you listen to this, let me know, how often did you dock Bosk? Did you start with Bosk docked and then eject him? I don't know. Like that's maybe, did you just bring that for lulz? Alex, this Dr. Aphra is a little bit different than the one you run. You like it? Something cool?
Oh, this is like the most popular Dr. Aphra people run.
Yeah, I gotta say, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's good if you want like a really hard hitting ship, right? Because Babu, you're not getting you shouldn't be getting your reinforced jammed off. That would take 4 jam tokens to do so. So you're always reinforced. You have Han Solo. When you activate, you can do a red focus action. Works with a cast. You can gain a strain because of her ability. You're probably shooting last because you're 9-3. So you shoot at someone. You can convert a blank to a hit and then spend your focus with Han. It just sucks that you're always having to do basically a blue maneuver. And if you do bump into people, you're not going to use like Rook to give yourself a strain, right? You're just going to get a focus. Which is actually why you see occasionally Unkar Plut on Aphra, because when you bump with Unkar, you can damage yourself and then still take the reinforce. And then do that whole Han Solo Rookcast shenanigans. So it's kind of a back and forth between which build people typically do with Aphra, between Babu and Unkar. I guess it kind of depends on their local meta and how much people get jammed. But his one loss was actually to Mitch. And he was explaining the game to me, and I'd explained to him how many times he cheated.
Great.
It's just when you bump into
cheated?
people, Mitch.
Oh, okay.
Well, they didn't catch it. Most people don't realize that, like, when you bump into someone, you cannot take that focus if you are stressed, period, regardless if you have contraband on or anything, right? So that happened there where he just took the stress from the contraband and then gave someone else an action and then boosted off of them. Also, you can't do any other actions after you do the bump stress, so you can't use Lando's ability on yourself. But this is on both people to remember those rules, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least he knows now, and he can not do it in the future. I will say, like, I really wish that tournament had been next weekend, because my nephew's going out to St. Louis, and I'm not gonna go because I got to be on call, starting on Sunday. So I didn't want to be out in St. Louis, be on call, and just be a whole thing traveling back to Michigan. My nephew's got a tournament out there, but if this store champ had been next weekend, I would have gone under the guise of going to watch hockey and just played X-Wing all weekend. That's what I would have done. Because that would have been a lot more fun than watching hockey with a bunch of 12 to 14-year-olds yelling at each other. But thank you all for joining us. I thought this was a fun episode. I like this. This was great coming back from the new year. It's good to be back. I will tell you all, I very much missed you. It was very hard to not podcast for 2 weeks. To the point where I even told my wife, I was like, man, if they cancel X-Wing, like, what am I going to do? Like, what podcast am I going to run? Like, I look back, I've been podcasting for almost 10 years in some way, shape, or form. Not always X-Wing, obviously. But I've been that's crazy, right? That's like, I don't know. It's like I'm 40, so that's like a fourth of my life. Okay, it's not, but it's 25% of my life has been spent podcasting. So I don't know. I do it for fun. I like this. I am very excited to be back for X-Wing this season. I will say I'm hoping we get a big points change before Worlds, even though nobody else believes me. That would be amazing. I would have so much fun if we got a points change, and I might even run crazy lists. But either which way, thank you all. If you have not, please subscribe to our YouTube, like us, do whatever you got to do. Fill us out on Patreon, anything you want to do to help the podcast out as we round into the new year. With that being said, thank you. Have a good night, and we will see you on the flippity flop.
Have a good night, everybody.